All right, hi, I'm Nate. Today we're going to get to the nitty-gritty of your store-level Barista Championship stuff, what you got to know in order to win. I have won the area championship twice, and I am undefeated at district. And so here we go. I'm going to tell you a couple things about what you should know in order to really prepare for the store level. So if you're the only delegate from your store getting sent to district, congratulations. We're going to go over the details of the district level as soon as they announce the rules, which will be at the end of April, I believe. So in the meantime, keep practicing your skills and getting ready to go. Now let's say that you've got some competition in your store and you want to be extra prepared for district. Or let's say you are the store's delegate. Already, there are a number of things you can do to get solidly prepared for district, and we're going to go over those now. The documents here that I'm going over are available on the Partner Hub. You can look those up. In the event that you are not a partner and watching this, some of the stuff is intellectual property and it's marked on the bottom for internal use only, so I will not be showing any of these documents, but I can help you get geared up to let you know what a Starbucks Championship is like. And if you're thinking about working for Starbucks and championships sound like fun, by all means pay attention to this. This is something we've done every year since 2015 in the United States, and we actually do it worldwide as well. So it is a lot of fun. All right. So let's get down to it. Basically, who are the people this is geared toward? It's you if you're motivated. If you're somebody who wants to take your skills to the next level, wants to show your manager, your district manager, that you want to be a shift supervisor, or your shift supervisor trying to prove your way to ASM, winning these kinds of things shows your capabilities. It shows your drive, your passion, your willingness to do it, your love of coffee and the company, and it's going to take you where you need to go. It is absolutely a worthwhile feather to have in your cap. So what are we looking for? A warm welcome. Basically, be good with customers. If you're somebody who's good at making eye contact, if you can talk to people while you're barring, if you can tell a customer story, you're good to go. Are the main things that they're looking for on that one, along with basic competence in things like bars, cleaning, espresso shots, knowledge, and stuff like that. So to go over what is to be expected. So I'm going over these documents. We're going to talk about them, but be familiar with them before the championship at the store level. Certainly before you get to district, have this more or less memorized because in past years, the trivia that's shown up at store level has also shown up with some overlap at the district level. So I'd encourage you to do this. They're going to want to know, they're going to have you make a flat white. You can modify it however you want, different shots, different syrups, different anything you feel like to tell your story, your customer story. They will also ask you a number of questions, or you can present this information on your own, but they'll make sure that certain boxes are checked along the way. They'll want to know the layers of the espresso shot, heart, crema, and body. If those are new terms to you, look them up. Go to the YouTube, check out whatever there is on. There's a lot of descriptions for these things, so I'm just going to tell you the main points. I'm going to let you look up what you need to. If you have questions about them, put it in the comments. Visual observation of the pole, you'll have to describe what a good shot of espresso looks like. So if it's dribbling out of one nostril of the brew head, okay, there's a problem with that. Why? You'll have to explain that kind of thing. What does a good shot look like? What does good pouring look like? And you know this. I'm not going to give you the key words or ways to officially describe this because your sincerity and your knowledge is worth far more than having the book answers memorized. Ristretto and long shots. What are those? Ristretto, some interesting key points on that. Regular shots, as you should know, take between 18 and 23 seconds as calibrated on our Ristretto machines. Ristrettos are shorter, long shots are longer, longo in Italian. What are the flavor differences? You want to know those. I encourage you, if you haven't drank those already, drink some. Describe those in your own words and then look up whatever the official descriptions are, but that way you can speak knowledgeably about them. So much of this is about genuine relatability, which has a lot more to do with first-hand experience than it does with memorizing book knowledge and book answers. Timing. Standard shots, we already talked about that, timing for a double pull. Oh, another interesting point is I have not been able to, 18 to 23 seconds is your standard shot. I have researched as far as I possibly can up the ladder and knowledge all the way to Seattle to find out that there is not a standard for short or long shots. Other than that, if your machine is calibrated for 18 to 23 seconds, we are to trust that short shots are appropriately short and long shots are appropriately long. so there's not a standard time for that. If you can find documentation with anything that I'm saying that contradicts what I'm saying, by all means, please put it in the comments. Let me know. That's how I learn, is by being wrong publicly. Not ideal first choice. I'd love to just know everything, but I don't. Key point here, I don't have Starbucks permission to do any of this. I respect my company tremendously, and if I go over anything that is inappropriate you think to have online, please let me know. I will edit it out or take down the video entirely at your request. My long-term relationship with my employer is worth far more than having to do this. So we'll just see how it all works out. I'm not expecting any problems. I'm trying to be respectful of the IP. Okay, so incorporate immediately. That's talking about shots dying. Talk about dead shots. I would encourage you to taste some dead shots, as unpleasant as that may be. Do it so you can speak knowledgeably. I have not seen anything ever that is official shot death time, though there are opinions ranging from instant to 10 seconds to 30 seconds. If you can find official documentation on that, let me know. If you can find official Starbucks documentation on that, even better. All right, next up, milk steaming. That's covered in so many different places anymore. The Coffee Academy has units on milk steaming. The training has units on milk steaming now. And if you are curious about it, you can go back into My Learning and retake individual sections of the barista craft without having to retake the entire thing, without it triggering all sorts of stuff that you have to do. Another key point on that, though, is that get permission to do it. Starbucks has always been very big into time worked equals time paid. Get your manager or district manager's permission to improve your skill. They can probably find 15 minutes of training hours to give you, but I, again, can't speak for your market and your manager and your arrangement with what you've got going on. How do you know if it's steamed correctly? Discuss microfoam. What should microfoam look like? Again, if you've watched any of these videos, you should be able to basically reproduce what's in this training and train anybody that you're doing. So treat your judges for this section as trainees. And if you can do that like they've never heard it before, do that, then you're in very good shape. With not speaking down to them, but just speak to them, train them like they don't know. All right, so machine maintenance. Now here's going to be a fun one. Machine maintenance, they put this in this year, and I'm guessing, if I had to speculate, not speaking on behalf, I have no inside knowledge, it's because there's a lot of misinformation out there. There are a lot of very funny ways people clean the machines. So what they're saying very clearly in this one is check your store cleanliness and equipment maintenance manual. Familiarize yourself with your equipment. Read about your Mastrena. Mastrena 2 paperwork I've not seen in there yet. You may be able to print out specifics to that. I don't know. We don't have those in my store. But look it up. I guarantee you there are some things that your store does that are probably not standard. So knowing what is sanitizer safe and knowing what's not. Knowing proper bean hopper maintenance is important. How often do we clean those? Where did you find that information? Also, know about how to clean the steam wand in great detail. And this is a very interesting one because I have been taught by techs, actual espresso techs who've been with their company 15 years or more, show me one way where you scrape it with a hard surface. As long as you're not damaging the internal thing, that's fine. I have seen people say to soak it. I have seen people say not to soak it. So know what the maintenance manual says now. Okay, that's a trick question too. You're not going to find in the maintenance manual how to maintain the steam wand. The way to find that right now is through the iPod and your that little QR code that you've got in the Clean, Safe, and Ready station. Watch the QR video on how to maintain your steam wand right now, because that documentation has changed many times over the years. At one point, I was able to find an actual, the initial original manual that came out in 2008, I ended up getting from a retired espresso tech, and found that when these machines were created, they were intended to have the steam wand soak overnight, believe it or not. And the downside, the reason not to do that, is because then as the boiler cools, it can suck fluid up from the cup into the boiler through the steam wand and so on and so forth, and that can cause problems and things like that. So it's not the official way to do it now, but I do encourage you to find the official ways to do it now, know where you found them, and speak to that. Now, the thing to be aware of at the store level when you're doing a presentation to your store manager of, well, the official way to clean the steam wands is like this. Some of you are going to have to say, well, I know we don't do it at my store, but the official way is this. Know both. Know why one is better than the other, and that'll take a little bit of knowledge. Then, in fact, you might even be teaching your store manager. There's a good chance if you're watching this video and you're getting ready to compete, there is a chance that you have read the maintenance manual more recently than your store manager. There's a good chance that you've read this more recently than your shift supervisors who are telling you exactly how you should do it, and you may know better. So it's going to be a very interesting way to teach machine maintenance and why. So get very familiar with those things. Speak with confidence and knowledge, and because there's still a good chance that your store manager who wants it done differently is going to be the judge to this, you'll have to let them know and give them this disclaimer at the beginning. According to the score sheet, I know I'm supposed to know maintenance according to the maintenance manual. I know we do it differently at this store, but this is the way that Starbucks has it done according to the official thing. That way you're not stepping on toes, you're not saying, you guys stink for not doing it right, and you can educate at the same time. So just so you know, you're going to anticipate some very interesting things. There's going to be some funny stories that are going to come out in the comments on this one. All right, so you're going to have to prepare a flat white, shot quality milk flavor visual presentation. Is there a dot or is there a heart, something like that? You're not required to do latte art at the store level. It's just, can you make a flat white to specs? A dot would really be helpful. And somebody watching this is going to say, great, I can do a flying swan over the inversed water kind of a thing with a wreath of hearts around it. Cool, if you can do that, that's awesome. But if you spill a bunch of stuff on the outside of your cup, you're going to lose points. So that's the way that's going to go. All right, the next thing is, got some good points on there, is your customer story. Your connection with customers is the foundation of your relationship with everybody here at Starbucks, and that is really important. So the main advice I've got for you here is think of your story ahead of time. Practice telling it to somebody at home, roommates, family, husband, wife, or other, and get that story down and tell it a couple of times, because you'll find the parts that are sentimental and mean something, and you'll find the parts that are kind of filler. What they're looking for is they want, let's say you've got several of you that are all competing, you're all capable of making a flat white, and you've all studied the same Mastrena book, or the same maintenance manual. What they're looking for is somebody who makes the most welcoming environment. And yeah, it's somewhat arbitrary, but if you can be that person that makes the better eye contact, that takes a little bit more time, and makes your judge, probably your store manager, feel a little bit more welcome, that's what's going to give you that advantage at district, because they want you to win. So your store manager is looking to put somebody forth that has the strongest chance of winning at district. And that person in district is going to be somebody who's the most approachable, the most helpful, the most unassuming. That's the person that we're looking to be. So be as genuine as possible. Find your story of some time where you made a real connection. Who's your favorite regular? Why? Is there some story that really stands out? One of mine. It was a number of years ago. I was at a busy store, and it was about 10 o'clock at night, and this customer came up and ordered a Frahir latte. And so I put a heart in it. I was pretty proud of this whole thing, handed it off. Didn't think much of it. It was still busy even at that time of night. And she came back an hour later and handed me I was still on bar, and she handed the cup and says, "Thank you. You have no idea how much I needed that tonight." And she was like teary a little bit. And then I don't know anything about her story, but something about having a heart in that latte spoke to her in some way that really meant something. And that's what proved the connection is far more than just coffee. And that's one of those sayings in our business at Starbucks, is that we are in the people business serving coffee, not the coffee business serving people. And that's the story that you've got should be about that. It doesn't even have to be coffee related. Sometimes you helped somebody to the door. You helped somebody out of the bathroom. You went above and beyond in some way and had that connection, because what we're looking to do is really we're selling the third place. And if you are the ambassador to that third place, that's what's going to get you the advantage. So that's what the next thing is going to be. So to go over the rule sheet the score sheet at the store level, my first piece of advice: read this every single night before you go to bed, or every morning before your shift, every lunch, until you know it inside and out and you can walk somebody through it without looking at it. The reason I say to even do this at the store level is because this is what I'm going to say for the district level too. It's ultimately about points, is what you're looking for. You can have the best customer store in the world, but if you have a really sloppy, messy cup and you make your drink wrong, you're still going to lose, and that would be too bad. All right, so Read through it. It is available on the hub. Print out your own copy and know it. It's not included in the Barista competitor pack, but it is available on the hub. So can you describe the espresso? Discuss the origins of the coffees. So you'll find that information in your passports or online. The difference between ristretto and long. So you have to talk knowledgeably from first-hand experience. I recommend tasting these. First-hand, genuine, honest experience. Correctly describe the flavor. Can you do it? So just know these things and then have a checklist. Now there's also something I've recommended. It is not against the rules to have a cheat sheet with you when you compete at every level, at any level. So I've done a little 3x5 note card, and I have done a version of the score sheet. Remember to talk about the layers, points, espresso, origins, and I've made these little notes myself. I've basically written myself a little shorthand version of a script to tell me exactly what I need to talk to people about. It's basically telling the judges, give me the points. I'm going to walk you through your score sheet. That's how you win. Okay, milk steaming. I'm going to trust that you've got the basic skills to that now, but make sure that while you're doing it, you talk about these 4 points. I'm going to describe the milk steaming, including the 5 major steps. Well, it's a point for the 5 steps. Some stores, some judges will give it an all or nothing, 1 or 0 points. Some will do 20, like 0.2, 0.4, 0.6 points, depending on if you correctly list all 5. If it's tough and competitive where you are, you're going to want to make sure that you list all 5. Flavor properly steamed. What should perfectly steamed milk look like? Make sure you've got a description for it, and you say, this is what perfectly steamed milk should look like. And that will tell them to give you the points. This is how you win. All right, preparing the flat white, taste it and discuss it. Leave that to you. Beverages made to the highest quality. At this point, you're already trying to keep a clean bar. You're already trying to make to the highest quality. I trust that you've practiced this before today. Taste matches your description. Yeah, if you describe a caramel macchiato and you make a flat white, you're not. Okay, you're already past that. Maintenance and cleaning. Okay, here's a good one. When should you adjust the grind? At 18 20 to 23 seconds, or after the shots are produced outside the range. You will find that in the documentation. I'm not going to give you the basic answer for it, but make sure you know it and can speak knowledgeably, and keep note of where you found it. Like so many of those little debates you get into where somebody says you have to clean the urns this way and somebody else says this way. Where did you find your information? That will say it. So when you do yours, because I have been at stores where there has been a crack and people were cranking down the grinders left and right, and ruining calibration to the point where techs had to be called out when the grinders between the switch things got stuck. Okay, so don't do it that way. Look up the proper answers. Know where you found them. And if you're at one of those stores where there is a crackdown, they say do not adjust them unless otherwise specified until the machine asks you, okay, well, this is what we're doing at this store, and here's why. But the official answer, and if everybody was responsible with it, this is how it would be. Know where you found the information, recognize that it may not be your store's practice and why, and educate to that matter. Take this as an opportunity for you to be the education piece for how the store should do things. When you know it's out of range. When cleaning the steam wand, is it okay to soak it in water to help the cleaning process? Know where you found the answer to that question. Explain how the hopper assembly should be cleaned. And you get a total of up to 17 points for the stuff we've gone over so far. So 17 points for that, and then 6 points for your connection story. So however those percentages work out. You can easily bomb one section or the other and not do very well, or do really well on both. The story, and these are the arbitrary points, and these get more challenging as you get to the district and area levels where it becomes a storytelling competition too. But when you're being engaging with it and genuine and honest, we'll get into all those before district, you'll have that down. So are you able to share a story to highlight how craft supports a warm and welcoming environment, customer service commitments, smile, basic stuff. Just talk about how you don't even have to say, I'm smiling at you now. Just be yourself. Be honest, tell a touching story about you, about a customer, and they will love what you've got for that. Storytelling, you get 3 points. There's the biggest point thing of the entire thing is these 3 points. Does the barista proudly and confidently present their flat white and customer story in a way that shows commitment to service and connection? That right there is the bulk of this. 3 points for doing what you're already doing. That's a key thing for it right there. So I hope that going over this general thing will help you. I hope that going over your score list, which you will find on the hub, will help you and get to the district level. So my very best wishes to all of you. Good luck. It's a whole lot of fun, and we're just getting started. So please let me know how this works for you. Let me know if you make it to the next level and what I can do to help you next, because once these district rules are announced, I'm going to put some stuff out there too for that one. So have a wonderful afternoon, morning, or evening. Good luck.